What's up, guys, and welcome back for another EVE Online video. This one, we're going to be talking about the industrial core. Now, I'm going to be showing the comparative numbers, percentages to the burst across all of the mining command ships, the Porpoise, the Orca, the Rorqual, and we'll be comparing between not using the core to Tech 1 to Tech 2, and then I'll kind of give my thoughts and kind of my position on the whole game mechanic in general, and then hopefully by the end of this video you'll be able to decide which of these ships is best for how you play, and if you should use a industrial core, and if so, which one. What you're seeing here is percentage numbers based on the core being off or using a Tech 1 or a Tech 2 core, and then also have the core duration up there. These percentages are based on maximum skills for each ship and using just a regular mining foreman mine link. When it comes to cost, and we're talking about just ISK and what each of these ships fitted cost, in almost every camp and every kind of discussion, the Porpoise here is going to win out in almost all situations. This fitted, you're looking anywhere between 300 to maybe 400 million, okay? And then the Orca here, you're probably going to be looking at upwards to over 2 billion or so. And then the Rorqual can go anywhere up to like 8 billion fitted. In just black and white terms, most people would suggest that you would never, ever siege a Rorqual. One, because it's almost always going to get tackled, which is true. But also, the Rorqual has more tools in its repertoire to use as defense. It has better tank. It can use heavy drones, bigger mining hold, things like that, and also the fact that it can use smart bombs to pop interdiction probes and also Sino out of system. In almost all cases, a siege Rorqual is going to be better utilized in a null block situation where you have a response fleet and you have the means to actually kind of, save that asset when things happen. In most cases, the Rorqual can be used as bait for people who want to do PvP. So we're talking symbiotic relationships here, where in normal situations, if you're by yourself and you're not actively playing with anybody, yes, going out and sieging a Rorqual, probably not a good idea. But the Rorqual being in Null Sec is also a really good tool for moving mining fleets around to do moon mining because of its conduit jump ability. And also just the fact that it can jump, it can carry different things in its maintenance bay. Logistically speaking, it's a great asset for any mining operation just because of the way you can use it to move things around. Now, for me, in most sustained situations, the Rorqual, I use it for drag mining or align mining, because in those situations we're looking at a 43.9 percentage boost to the mining fleet that you're boosting. And if you compare the same kind of activity across the other ones, you're 40.4 for the Orca and 38.7. These percentages are not that far off from each other, but the cost is substantially different. But in most cases, you're going to be using a Rorqual in a null block situation where it's not just going to be a ship you take out to boost your mining fleet. It's going to be moving things around. It's going to be used for a suitcase and things like that. But usually, I try to use the biggest ship that is allowed per whatever area of null I might be in. So let's talk in terms of like high sec, right? I have no problem sieging an Orca in high sec. It has good tank. You can tank this thing almost up to like 400,000 EHP. So in most cases, if they want to kill you, a gang fleet wants to kill you in high sec, they will do it. But it's very rare. If you pick good systems to mine in, most of the time you will not be bothered at all. The other thing too is the Orca can also survive if, let's say, a pirate stronghold pops in system and you do get kind of pounced on by that specialized NPC group. I have actually gotten off grid and away with an orca. A porpoise probably wouldn't make it. Now, if I'm really just kind of like chilling, if I'm really just wanting to just not put a whole lot of ISK on the field, yeah, a porpoise is going to be great for sieging, especially if you're drone mining and you're just kind of boosting friends or you're boosting your own mining barges or exhumers. 75 seconds on that industrial core is nothing compared to like the 300 seconds of the Rorqual. 5 minutes is a long, long time in terms of being tackled and waiting for a response fleet, or if somebody comes in the system next to you in Null and you're patiently waiting to come out so you can jump or warp off. So in most cases, fast tackle is fast enough that even if you have good intel, you probably won't get out of siege before you're in trouble with a Rorqual, which is why I said earlier that sieging in a Rorqual is very situational based, and it's almost best to be used as a way to help PvP fleets who want fights to get them. So really, depending on whatever ship you end up using, you kind of have to pick one side of the fence or the other. It's like, do you want to go with the max percentage for your burst and be sieged, or do you want to maintain control, maintain the ability to get out if things go south for you, while also getting a little bit less percentages on your burst? The kind of the way I look at it is, in most cases, I'll take less percentage to my boost if I don't have to keep replacing that asset. Because if you, even with a porpoise, even if you just rate that ship at like 200 million, if you're sieging with it and you're replacing that ship at least every week because you're getting ganked in high sec or whatever, that really kind of cuts into your profits as well. And the difference between like 38.7 and 46, not a whole lot. And we're comparing basically unboosted porpoise to Tech 2 Orca, which is 46.5. The difference between that, you will notice it. Obviously, if you're sieging Tech 2 on an Orca with your exhumers, you're going to notice that, as opposed to like just not on a porpoise. But also you got to realize too, it's like you have half the time less to wait to get out of siege if you're using a porpoise. In the current environment in EVE, as far as like, the market for, mining equipment and stuff like that, everything being so expensive, yeah, in almost every scenario you can kind of put yourself in, the porpoise is going to look like it's going to be your best ship, whether you're aligned mining or you're sieging with one of the industrial cores. It's just, you also have to take into account that the porpoise has very little EHP. With a 5,000 cubic meter fleet hold, if you have more than 2 barges that you're boosting and they're dumping into your mining hold, there's going to be people that are just going to be kind of waiting. It's going to really slow down. That's going to be your biggest bottleneck there. So you would almost 100% have to have all of your miners, either your alts or your corp members, they would have to be compressing in their ship and to be able to really kind of keep the mining op kind of going. And if you're not actually sieging in the porpoise, then it's just going to be really, really annoying for you as the foreman of that mining op. Which is why in like high sec, then it's a very easy decision to go up to an Orca. You have considerably more EHP. You have a 40,000 cubic meter fleet hold, which can accommodate a lot of miners or alts, and that is that it actually allows you not to have to necessarily be sieged and allow compression to really kind of keep things moving. And then furthermore, like with the Rorqual, if you're doing really, really, really big mining fleets, whether it be on Moonfrax or something in Null Sec, even an unsieged Rorqual will be able to keep up with a pretty decent size mining fleet. For me personally, I don't actually enjoy, or I don't like the, turn engine off kind of gameplay in Eve, whether that be the sensor booster for the carriers or the triage modules or the tactical siege for the dreads or the industrial core for mining ships. I just think it's kind of a cop out. I just really do not like the design of these gameplay systems that basically require you to lock your ship in place, which really is, those things are just there to kind of help promote PvP for the most part, and it's just kind of annoying. So if I was going to give any like new player or any like new corporation or anybody who's wanting to get like into high yield or high income mining, in most cases I probably would not recommend using a industrial core. If you do, I think you would limit it to probably just in high sec with an Orca, and you would probably siege long enough to allow the Orca pilot to kind of compress everything down, and then during that 150-second window, everybody that you're boosting gets a little bit of a higher benefit to the mining burst. I know it's whenever you're getting into like industry and mining, all that stuff, looks really, really good. But it's just the fact that they've added, these siege modules, these industrial cores to the Porpoise and the Orca just is like an unnecessary tax or an unnecessary handicap that didn't used to exist, which is unfortunate. But if I can sit there and I can drag mine in high sec with an Orca and get 40.4 and not worry about getting tackled by a gank squad or whatever the case may be, then yeah, it's I don't have to worry about replacing that Orca. Because if you're line mining and you're doing it correctly, it is almost impossible for you to get caught, which is why you'll see me in Null Sec and I will be running this Rorqual, because the Rorqual I can get down to a very, very slow speed while I'm aligned, which means I get to stay on grid a lot longer than, say, an Orca or a Porpoise, because the Porpoise has a much higher base subwarp speed. And so, I know based on my abilities that regardless of what happens, if I'm out there dragging and I'm aligned and I'm moving and I'm unsieged and I'm just mining ice or whatever the case may be, I know that I'm going to be able to just get out of there if something happens. So the 8 billion-ish, the 5 to 8 billion investment for the Rorqual suits me because I use it for conduit jumping mining fleets or jumping ore back and forth after moon mining ops or ice mining ops or whatever. So for me personally, the Rorqual is a very, very good asset in Null Sec, but it just kind of depends on where you're at as far as your income, your daily income, and what you're willing to risk. And that's all it really comes down to, is it comes down to how you want to play. But I figured that I'd make this video kind of showing the different percentages based on the type of core and the type of ship, so that you could better make a kind of a decision on what you want to use and how you actually want to utilize this feature. So, I mean, I still like drone mining. I mean, I'll still go out with the Rorqual and just, siege up and throw excavators out. But for me, at that point, it's not really about ISK. It's not really about income. It's just about enjoying that type of gameplay. But when I was making fuel blocks and doing a lot of crazy stuff in Null Sec, I was dragging. I was align mining in a Rorqual, and everything was just fine. Didn't have to replace any Rorquals from getting ganked. Didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. I just had a routine. And that's the thing too, is the Orca can do really well in Null Sec as well. So don't think you have to have a Rorqual if you are in Null Sec. The Orca will drag in Null just fine. It can withstand the rats. It can remote shield boost your exhumers or your mining barges just fine. The downside of having the Orca in Null Sec is just logistics. It can't jump. So if you're moving it around, then you have to take gates, which can be the most dangerous thing for the Orca. So I just try to stay away from anything that has to use a jump gate normally. in Null Sec when it comes to like mining things, but yeah, I would say Porpoise is great. Porpoise can be used in a lot of different situations. Porpoise, fitted correctly, could theoretically, take care of rats in nullsec. It might be a little rough if there's 3 battleships on you with some battle cruisers and some frigates, but it's all possible. It just depends on how much you want to be like worrying about while you're also trying to mine and things. But hope you enjoy this video. Hope you let me know in the comments, your thoughts and kind of what you think of like the whole industrial core kind of gameplay with mining. I'm still not a fan of it. I still think it's unnecessary for the Orca and the Porpoise, but it's what we have now, so that's how it goes. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.